And they say, like what we said, if we're young and we look like we say we'll never die, we have a long life.
Yeah.
But yet you know that you're planting these seeds after I'm like really saying that this is what's going to happen, and you know that you're going to live a long life. Do you want to see the end of it? Like, do you want to reap those fruits that you're planting?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be in that long life. Are you sure? Do you want to go through that? I mean, because it is hard.
Yeah.
Because as we go on, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah. If you plant lemon, you're going to get lemon. You're not going to get sweet mangoes.
No, it's not. Yeah, exactly. So when I came to Palau and then I went to PCC, it's so funny because I went to Saipan, I went to the States, I went to visiting, not school, but I went a lot of places when I was in high school. But I never came across ICE.
Oh, okay. O mga saibal, mga Hawaii. No.
Not once did I ever come across ICE.
Okay.
Even my high school, everywhere. I came across weed, came across alcohol. But when I came to Palau and I went to PCC, I came across friends who invited me, like actually told me, I had the car, so they said, let's go cruise. So we went, and that's when they offered me ICE. I did not know what it was. But here's the thing about it is, when I ask you, what do you picture as a person who is a drug user, drug addict, ICE especially, what comes to your mind? Is there
blank stare? Oh.
No, like if you were to see a person, would you, if like a description of a person using ICE, addicted to ICE?
To me, I think it would be someone emaciated, koramla, bony, disheveled, and
unkept.
Unkept. That kind of person.
Okay.
They shower, dirty clothes.
So these guys, aligama mangara PCC. These guys are Team Palau.
Team Palau.
Yes, they play in different. They play in different sports.
Students of PCC.
PCC, yes.
Oh, okay.
And they're very good at it.
I see. Okay.
They're very good at it.
Right.
So I was also Team Palau. I was playing volleyball.
So they're healthy, strong.
Healthy, strong. You would never tell who they are.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's one of my things. Like in Palau, because this thing is maybe new. Right? This drug ICE is new. So what a lot of people are really generalizing, or like they say, when somebody's very skinny and they look sick, they might be very sick. Or but they have to come to understand that there's not a certain face for these people who are addicted to ICE.
So instead of a normal looking person,
yes,
be addicted to ICE.
Yes, can be. I know a lot of people that are here that look normal,
but they use ICE.
Hold a job, a normal job, but are addicted to ICE. So my point is, the point I was trying to say is that my decision of taking that ICE at that time is that, wow, these friends of mine are normal.
Right.
I wasn't scared of them. I wasn't, because they healthy looking, everything.
Right. Yeah.
So if they can do it, I can do it.
Right.
So.
And they seem to be successful. They're
very popular. See, that's the thing. So that also made me say, okay, maybe this is the it thing. This is the coolest thing to do here. So I took it.
Right.
And one thing that they say that one hit, you're hooked. I'm a good example of that.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And just.
I'm gonna describe or say the first experience.
Okay.
Was it? I know you get euphoric. Euphoria.
Yes.
Beyond the.
So, the part where we drink alcohol and we use weed and we try to escape reality, those are the things that, but this drug, I will tell you, when I took it, it was, I think, only 1 or 2 hits of it. But it took me and just like all my worries, all my hurt, just timlo daka balgul, timlo dak the like my feelings, my happiness, like I was just all of a sudden, boom, I'm happy.
Wow.
Like malungi lang ako, and I'm just I can do anything, I can say anything, I can even my thought of myself, I was like, I'm the most handsome guy ever.
Oh, unlimited change.
I did not sense. And the reality of it, after so many years, and then coming with the help of Dr. Wali, I came to understand what happened that very first time. Because there's the brain that just sends out so many happy chemicals that makes you become very happy. And with that drug, it really, so much of it that it's just ridiculous. Like, so I got hooked on it, and over the next how many months, maybe like 7 to 9 months, my life changed. I changed friends, I changed hobbies, I changed my values, what I held dearly kind of wasn't my priority. I started stealing, I started selling drugs. That was my first time ever to come across this drug, and it totally wrecked my life. Like at that time, as PCC student, I quit school actually, so that I can.
How long did it take?
It took only months, a few months, maybe, like I said, maybe 9 months or so.
Wow.
But within a year.
After that, after you were hooked, namodi hamon kore about anything else. You just want to get more of
this drug.
Wow.
Nothing but just this drug. My mom, who I loved dearly so much, would be, I know I'm doing something and talking the way I'm talking because I'm drugged out, and she's crying, and I would not even have a care in the world.
Oh.
I was so numb, because it's just all about me getting my drugs, my hit, like or whatever, and I would steal from her.
Were you conscious of ngadalak, you know, so you don't want to hurt her? Was that not in your?
I mean, I was hurt, like I was like, but I would always come to reason. My brain always made reasons for why you shouldn't really. Okay. It's okay, like, you know, dimlo. You made it. You reasoned out of why it's okay. Why it's not a very important thing or something like that. So yeah, but I continued on until maybe almost a year. Then I quit by myself.
Taking the drugs.
Yes, by myself, and that's where I think I want to share with you, like the first ever experience of having an encounter with God. Like you know, I told you I was growing up as an altar boy, choir boy, and all that thing, and praying, and always told to go Sundays, right?
Yeah.
But then, once you're put into a position where life gets hard, nothing is falling in place, nothing is really working, and you get that struggle, and you don't have anybody to help you. That's what you feel. That's what I felt after so many months of using that drug, because I don't have my cousins around me that love me, like hang out and everything. I don't have. My relationship with everybody's becoming bad. So my son was born, and I was crying. Like, you know, I went up there and I asked God, like, Lord, help me come clean so that I can raise this kid, this baby, so that he doesn't have a father who's going to be a druggie and cannot be a good example.
Right.
So it did not happen overnight. No. That drug is something else that it's very hard to quit.
Right.
But it took a lot of falling down, getting up, falling down, persistence. Just keep on falling, and some of the things, just so that if anybody, or if any youngster wants to they're curious and want to try. I'll give you some of the things that I had to go through of withdrawal. It was like when you walk, like the first how many days when you walk out of bed or something, there's like 1,000,000 needles
really
coming from underneath your feet.
Oh wow.
So you're walking and you're like old, like your joints
Right.
are like dry, and you're in the middle of the day, and you're shivering. You're underneath the blanket because you're cold, but you're sweating.
Wow.
So it's a lot of things and you're sick and you're moody and you don't want to eat, and it's such like a very bad thing to go through for maybe 2-3 weeks, almost a month. I think I went through it.
I gave you the symptoms that you went through.
Withdrawal, to quit.
Withdrawals symptoms for a month. It's
Almost a
lasted
month.
About a month.
Yeah, without help. That was me just deciding by myself to quit.
Wow. Okay.
So then when I quit and then I joined the military, I mean, I had a hard time. I was trying to figure out on my life because I was 21, I think, at that time, trying to figure out things of my life. And I joined the military.
Okay.
Now, when I joined the military, I drank a lot. I resorted, instead of using ice, I resorted back to drinking.
Right.
And we drank pretty much almost every weekend throughout my whole career. I think, sometimes I think I almost had alcohol poisoning.
Wow.
Yeah, it was because there's so much stress, and also I got married, and so you put a lot of things in on top of like where I was like juggling and everything.
Okay.
And I went to war, came back, had PTSD after that, suffered through PTSD, and kept on going. And my relationship with my wife then was very rocky, and until 2009, I would say 2009, and we split because then we already had 2 kids, and from there she left and went to Oklahoma, and I was in Hawaii, and then I came down here. But before I go into the next one, I want to say that from the ice part, where I thought I was healed and I was all good and I'm ready for life, and then going into the military and then getting into alcohol, I was escaping life. I was escaping pain. I was escaping the thoughts in my mind. Instead of working on it, I was escaping it, and that was my vice, you would say, right?
Yeah.
And so throughout the whole time, I went unchecked. I was told a lot of times to go to therapy, but even when I went, I didn't really pay attention. I was just like, whatever, I can handle this.
Because you've got your escape.
Yeah.
You just replaced ice with alcohol.
And how was my relationship with God at that time? Not
Nothing.
really.
No.
He was
to
very
church?
once in a while.
Once in a while.
But my relationship with God, when I was at war, when I was in Iraq, and we were told that 3,000 Republican guards was going to come, my relationship with him was so close. Because at that time,
When you need him,
when I need him, that's when I was like, Lord, please, or every time I get on my vehicle, like, but I would say, Lord, please protect me from here to there. When we get down, I said, Lord, but while I was in war at that time, God was so close to me. But as soon as I went back, instead of relying on God, what did I do? I relied on alcohol. I relied on Jack Daniels. I relied on tequila and so many other things, which continued to really not help me. But God helped me when I was at war. Jack Daniels and everything.
See how patient and how kind that Dios give.
But He still stays.
He answered your prayers.
Exactly. So when I came back to Palau after the divorce, so let me give a little picture of this broken down person, me. So I grew up in a very happy, and rebellious, like kind of very not fruitful young upbringing, but still a good one, I would say. Then I went into so much trouble. Then I went to war. Joined the military. I went through drugs. Then I went to the military, which was a lot of mental heartache, like I mean mental
Stress.
hurt, stress, PTSD, and then I came over to divorce and everything. So I came back a very
That's
broken.
additional
Yes.
pain on
Yes.
top of all that. Yeah.
Yes, and so I came back broken,
Right.
broken, still into alcohol.
Yeah.
Came down thinking that, okay, if I change place, I change spots, di maugil. But that was not to be,
Right.
because I came down and I still relied on alcohol
Right. Because the
and-
problem was inside.
inside, yes.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's just the reality of accepting of what you are, like what you're in or who you are and everything. And so I came back and I would go to church every Sunday. My mom would tell me, hey, one thing you'll know that each and every one of my brothers and my favorite sister, she's my only sister again. But one thing that they can, they would also say that my mom is one of the people that not only pray for us, but would always tell us to go to church, go to church.
Right.
Always tell us to go to church. Always be that alarm clock, be that one that says that she's going to pray for us, but she needs us to pray for ourselves too.
Right.
You know, so I would go. I think I was going through the motions when I came. I went to mass. I did everything, but I still, my relationship with God was not really the way I think. I think I was lying to myself at that time.
Right.
But then I was doing so many good things in the community. I was helping out in many activities where ended up the people, some of my relatives said that I can be a governor. So they asked me to
Right.
run for governor.
Right.
So I ran for governor and I won in 2012.
Right. Yang governorship Rakto being
Central State, yes. So when I became governor, and that's when everything was like the highlight of my life. I was like,
Right.
man, I made my parents proud.
Yeah.
You know, you would go into places and say, hey, governor.
Right.
I'd be like, yes.
I'm a big guy
I'm a big
now."
guy now. I'm wearing big pants now, you know. So I went through that life drinking, going out, clubbing, womanizing, everything, you know, you name it. But I wasn't into drugs. I wasn't into I wasn't into ice, and I wasn't into weed at that time. But then again, about a year or two later, my best friend called me up on my birthday and said, yeah, well, come on, let's celebrate your birthday.
Your birthday.
So I went over. We went into the karaoke place, and on the table there was a box and there was ice in it, and we were in a private room. So he offered it to me, and I remembered what pain it brought me back in PCC. So I told him no,
Right.
and then he, after a while, maybe an hour or so, after 6 or 7 more beers, he offered it again. I said, hey, it's your birthday. We should enjoy. I promise you, this will, you use this, we celebrate, you can quit tomorrow. Now, me remembering what happened at that time, it's already foggy already.
Oh, alam lang mo, 7 beers or how many
7 beers.
later.
Yeah, and then so my brain started breathing like, hey, kired mo out and do all these things, so maybe that's a good idea. But let me tell you about this person who's across me, my best friend. We went to Maristela together.
Okay.
And at that time, just so you know what kind of childhood I was growing up here in Koror, Southwest. And adults, and also I came across certain adults and certain youngsters that would say, awel, yeah, milimaras. You know, those kind of, I walked through, I didn't walk through here, but I would walk through certain neighborhoods, and they would chase after me. Adults would send either their younger nephews who are older than me to chase after me to beat me up because I'm from that's the
Right.
bullying and the
Right.
what kind of the discrimination. I had a I'm very sorry to say this, but at that time I grew up with a lot of, I wouldn't say hate, because that, I would
Buried anger.
buried anger toward people from, like if they're not from the Southwest.
Right.
I had a lot of anger toward them.
Right.
Like if you say, Jacob, you're from Palau? I said, no. I'm from the Southwest Islands. Because to me, I said, I can never be that mean. But check this out. It was just a few people that made me feel that way.
Right.
It wasn't the whole thing. I came across very awesome people when I was young, but I decided to look at the bad things.
Right.
Yeah. But this best friend of mine, he would come with me
Okay.
and walk with me throughout these times, and some of my classmates would walk with me to protect me, to make sure that I don't get.
So he's not from Aang?
No, he's
Best
not.
friend. Oh.
He's not. I don't want to say his name, but he would like we would 2-3 of us together would be instead of just by myself.
Right.
Even when I left for after elementary, I considered him like one of the closest people I ever have, like closest. Because even when I came, he would come visit me,
Right.
or I would go and look for him. So we were very
You're
close.
very close.
Yes. So that's the person who would sit across me,
Right.
who offered
You
me.
trust him.
Yeah. So
Right.
he was like, "Hey, bro, like at that time when we were sitting and we were going to celebrate my birthday when I was a governor, he said, and he's well off too. He's like, he comes from a very good family, so." So I looked at him and this is my friend, man. He looks all right. So again, remember that look,
rational,
that when we say, what does a addict look like? Well, this guy doesn't look like it. I said, man, he's
in control.
He's in control. He's in.
I can take it and be in control.
I can take it, and we said, use it now, quit tomorrow.
Right.
Lo and behold, I took it. I did not quit the next day. These are going to turn out to be some of the darkest moments in my life.
Right.
These are the times that I would say, in a year, I resigned as governor. Yeah. Ali, hindi mle 1 year, akmle 1 year or 2 years a governor, and then he came and we hung out, and then I used. In less than a year, I resigned. It cost me my governorship.
Right.
And not only that, but during when I was governor, I was selling drugs and I was running around doing drug deals for the thing. And I quit, I resigned, and then I became a boat operator. And throughout that whole time, I was using ice.
So it doesn't affect your mechanical skills?
No,
You can still drive a boat.
I can still drive a boat.
Oo, still be rational as a mga other like normal person. Or alibin ko mo slur lang rem or
You do a lot of biting, like see my teeth, it's already little cracked and everything, because you do a lot of grinding, like that. And but if you don't have enough sleep, like if you don't sleep for 4-5 days, some of the thoughts and some of the things that you're going to say does not jive with people.
right.
It does not make sense.
So you cannot go to sleep.
Cannot. Oh, you have to force yourself to sleep.
Wow. Okay.
It's so hard to, but see, that's the thing, is like, it will keep you up, and if you have money, you can keep on using. There's times that I would find myself like using until I just knock out because my body just shuts itself down.
Wow.
Yeah, but see those practices that I did, like when I was using, it cost me my health, my mental stability, cost me my family again, hurt my mom so much. I don't know if you heard, but my name came out on the newspaper in 2013 or 2014. I was in the Philippines, and then
What brought you to the Philippines?
drugs.
Ang kamlol mo o cigar say?
Oh,
Ang kura available bella? Why?
it's so expensive, and plus, at that time, people would steal money from me. They would take money from me, and so then again, like I would say to myself, man, why waste my time here? Let me go down to the Philippines where there's a lot, and then go get drugs over there. Go use drugs, go party down there.
How did you support yourself, Omar Oles?
Well, at that time, I was still governor at that time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like I said, I was using drugs and I was doing so many things. It took 1 year, and that 1 year was that time that I was spending my time down there.
Okay.
And I was using, and try to imagine this. I took myself and I put myself in a taxi and told the taxi driver to take me to the ghettos, the bad parts of Philippines.
Where you know it's available.
Yes.
Mm.
And he brought me there, and yes, it was a very.
And those are dangerous.
Yes, I came across people with guns and everything. Like that's the lifestyle that this drug is surrounded by. It's surrounded by death. It's surrounded by greed. It's surrounded by selfishness. So many. There's no good thing that comes out of it.
Right.
Even the money that comes in is from bad things that happen.
Right.
Yeah, so I put myself in there, and it cost me dearly, and my relationship with God at that time was very bad. Now, the pain that I went through, I almost committed suicide 2 or 3 times while I was using.
Philippines.
I tried to commit suicide once in Philippines, and that's where I want to share with you.
Okay.
So it's already been about 2 years, me using, or a year using, a year and something changed. So my name came out in the newspaper, and it said that I was jailed down in Philippines, which is not true. My mom got a hold of it, saying that, hey, your son is in jail. She freaked out. They started trying to figure out, and I'm pretty sure she was, about a year or 2 before that, she was so proud, mother of a governor,
Right.
oldest son governor, and then
Right.
about a year or 2 later, your governor's son is in jail because of ICE. And then she's not only hearing this, but she's worried.
Right.
She went through a lot, and
Yes.
so with that, a lot of pressure came down on me from not only my family, like my close cousins and everything, but also my closest family, my brothers and my sisters and everything. And I remember one argument. I left. I've already been back and forth from Philippines, and I was supposed to return, but I didn't because of drugs. And I had a conversation with my sister, and she asked me these 2 things that really hit me. She said, don't you love our mom? Don't you realize that you're digging her a grave? You're killing our mother. That's what you're doing. And at that time, I was like, still. And then all of a sudden, she asked me the second question. Do you love your son? Are you so lost that you forgot your son? Do you love him? At that time, everything just like really hit me hard. Like I said, wait, hold up, what am I doing? So I hung up, and I felt like the weight of the whole world was on me, like so heavy. And the voices are real. Like anybody says that the voices are not real, it's real to that person, and it was real to me. And it said that I was the most despicable person. Like you're the filth of the earth. You're nothing. That's the thing that was coming through my mind.
Right.
And he was saying,
Was that the first time you heard those voices?
yes, that was the most profound time that I heard it. Like it was like literally like a person talking to me, like saying, you are a waste of life. You are a shame to this family. How, all these bad, negative things. So I started crying, and I was like, man, never mind this. I would rather be dead, because the pain was so real. So I started to get ready, because I already made up my mind I was gonna commit suicide. So I started cleaning the room, and I put all my my ID and my stuff neat. I don't know why, but I did it. And I turned around and I said, I was like talking to God. I said, Lord, you created me for something. I don't know what it is. But if you do have a reason, if you have a mission, or if I was meant to do something in my life, do something, because I'm about to come meet you. For real, I was like crying, and I'm like, oh, like whatever. And I'm like, and honestly, I was gonna commit suicide.